let's get to a little look at what trades are hot right now. Peter McGuire from XM joins me now. Peter, nice to see you on this Friday. Talk to us about gold. Where's gold headed? Record heights overnight.
Yeah, good morning, Nadine. Great to see you as well. I woke up at around about 1:30 and I had a quick look at the screen. I suppose that's what I shouldn't do, but it was at 25.75. And I thought maybe you might see a little bit of a pullback over the coming hours up to the New York close, but it just rallied higher. And it just seems to be one-way traffic. It's a huge concentration as far as our client-based trade in gold, Nadine. They're very, very long at the moment. And I feel as though with the indicators demonstrating where it's at, possibly, 2,600 is only around the corner, and many analysts are saying 2,700 possibly by the election.
Well, that is a big call. I've heard 3,000, 3,500, year end. So
Yeah,
to the moon.
Absolutely. Yeah, to the moon. And I've got to say this, really, you must look at silver from a trading perspective. I think there's probably more upside on a percentage basis. If you look at that gold to silver long-term ratio, Nadine, that's something that really will, I think, shine very brightly over the next matter of months.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Also, oil. I mean, this is supply side concerns that helped lift the price of oil through the overnight. But if you look at the charts, what are they telling us?
Well, it bounced, and you saw that bounce, midweek. It really, we had both markets, WTI and Brent, sub $70 the other day, and then they've both bounced. And if you're looking at what they've done, I mean, it's been quite dramatic move to the upside, especially Brent. So that's a positive if you've been long and just saw a reversal. They're worried about naturally the hurricane, and it is normally about now, Nadine, is the mid-season point or midpoint of the hurricane season. So there's still a long way to run from that, weather outages and what that can do naturally to, first off, price, and then disruptions across that whole Gulf basin. That's the Gulf of Mexico basin. So, yeah, I think there's possibly more upside in the short term. Let's just see how that storm wears and if there's any disruptions to rigs and, all that sort of associated stuff.
Got it. Geopolitics obviously factoring into oil as well, but big concerns about growth, and we do get that data dump, as they call it, from China tomorrow. So we'll watch it in context of that as well. And then we've got central bank action, right? So I was chatting with somebody earlier who said that it's euro dollar is the good trade, because if you see, the European bank and the Fed, sort of their policies diverging slightly, that it's likely to lead to a weaker dollar. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do in some extent. I mean, we've just got to see how the and this time next week we'll certainly know the answer as far as Fed policy, Nadine. And was it a 25 or 50 basis points? So there's the first part, and that's going to set up, I think, the trade. What we've seen in the last couple of months has been quite a dramatic move, and the euro dollar has been extraordinary because we've had a low of 106 all the way through to 1.11. And that's been very dynamic. And so it's a little bit range bound at the moment. It's hard to call. You saw that 25 basis point cut. Are we going to see further pushes from Lagarde cutting rates, as the year progresses? I think that just all depends on economic stability, domestic growth across Eurozone and all of those factors. And of course, the inflation situation. So I do agree with you, and let's just see what happens as far as US dollar, because if Powell was to cut at 50, I think that really changes the footprint from a currency trading perspective.
Got it. How about the Aussie? So the Aussie is, if the US dollar weakens, then does that necessarily mean that the Aussie dollar appreciates, given what we've talked about in terms of China?
Yeah, I think it's, short answer, yes. Long answer, let's see what happens as far as China and the impact naturally that has to our economy. But at the moment, it's probably erring up. It's running at around about 67 and a quarter, Nadine. So there's probably a little bit more momentum. I, again, just want to see what happens as far as rate policy in the States. They're not talking about cutting rates here. So there's the other side of it anytime soon. So it's just a wait and see approach. We all did say we'll know the answers by about the 18th or 19th of September. So we haven't got long to wait, being Friday the 13th.